There's this weird tension for every Jira team out there right now. On one hand, you're being told, use AI, innovate, go faster. And on the other, it's lock down that data. Don't let anything leak. So how in the world are you supposed to do both? Let's get into how you can use AI to build amazing things in Jira without ever putting your data at risk. And look, this is probably the first thing that comes to your mind, right? We cannot risk our Jira data. And you're absolutely right to think that. Your Jira instance is the heart of your operations. It's got everything. Your product roadmaps, customer feedback, maybe even security vulnerabilities. It's the crown jewels. And risking that is it's a non-starter. We get it. And right on the heels of that comes this other big fear. We just don't know where our data goes. With so many AI tools, it feels like you're plugging your information into a black box. Is it being shipped off to some random server? Is it being used to train some other company's AI model? That uncertainty is totally valid, and honestly, it's what stops great ideas before they can even get started. All right, so how do we get past this? The solution isn't some complex security protocol. It's actually a really simple shift in how we think about the AI itself. The whole thing comes down to one core idea. The AI we're talking about isn't a data reader, it's a builder. And trust me, that one little distinction changes absolutely everything. Okay, this is it. This is the whole idea in a nutshell. An AI builder does not equal data access. They're two completely different things. Think about it like this. One is a coder sitting in a coffee shop writing an application. The other is a consultant who needs to read all your private documents. This AI is the coder. And understanding that is the key to unlocking all of this safely. So let's be crystal clear about what this AI doesn't do. It never ever connects to your Jira instance. It has no way to access your APIs. It isn't scanning your issue descriptions or reading through your team's comments. It gets zero, and I mean absolutely zero, of your actual live Jira data. Its whole job is done completely isolated from your information. Okay, so that's probably going to make you ask, right? If it's not reading my data, what on earth is it actually doing? How can it possibly build something useful for Jira if it has no clue what's actually in my Jira? That's a great question. And the answer is right here. This slide splits it out perfectly. Over here on the left, you see its job. It generates code. Specifically, it writes the code for an Atlassian Forge app. And on the right, you see its source material. It's not your data, it's the public Forge documentation and a general understanding of data structures. It knows what an issue key is as a concept, but it has never seen a single one of your issue keys. It's kind of like an architect, An architect can design a perfect blueprint for a house using the universal rules of engineering and physics. They don't need to know who's going to live there or what color you're going to paint the walls. The AI is the same way. It works with the fundamental logic and structure of Jira, not the personal details inside. So the AI builds the code. Great. But what happens then? Where does that code actually run? Well, that brings us to the next piece of the puzzle, which is this secure fortress that Atlassian has built called the Forge platform. Let's just walk through this timeline because the order here is so important for security. First, the AI generates the app code, totally separate from you and your data. Step 2, you take that code and deploy it to your Jira site. It's only now that the app even exists in your world. Third, and this is the big one, that app runs completely inside Atlassian's secure infrastructure, which means finally, any data it touches is processed right there. Your data never leaves home. And this isn't just a promise. It's baked into how Forge works. Atlassian guarantees that the app runs only within their walls. It automatically respects and enforces all the granular permissions you've already set up in Jira. So if a user can't see a certain project, neither can the app when that user is running it. It's your security model, just extended. So let's just put that initial fear to rest once and for all. Where does your data go? The short answer? Nowhere. It's not sent back to the large language model that wrote the code. It's not sent to the app vendor, SaaSJet. And it is definitely not being shipped off to some other third-party service or external server. It stays put, period. Okay, now, for those of you who've been around the block with Jira integrations, there's probably a little red flag popping up in your head right now, the API token. You're asked for one to deploy the app, and it's totally fair to ask, whoa, wait a minute, what's that token for? So let's clear that up right now. This table makes it super, super clear. That token has one job and one job only, deployment. It's used to tell your Jira site, hey, here's a new Forge app, and to actually push the code into your Atlassian environment. Now, look at the column on the right. What is it not used for? reading your issues, accessing your data while the app is running. Once the app is deployed, the token's job is done. Finito. All right, we've gotten pretty deep in the weeds on the how and the why it's safe, but let's pull up for a second and ask the most important question. What does this actually mean for your team? Why does any of this even matter? It matters because it gives you a powerful third option. For what feels like forever, when you needed a small customization in Jira, you really only had two choices. Get in the long line for your developers and wait, or buy some big clunky app from the marketplace that costs a ton and only does half of what you need. This AI builder, this creates a whole new path. With that whole security question off the table, you're suddenly free to actually do stuff. You can build that custom solution your boss has been asking for in minutes. You can test out a new idea for a workflow without waiting months for development time. You can instantly see if an idea has legs, and if it does, you can hand the clean, generated code right over to your developers to make it official. So we'll end with this. We've established that the AI is a builder, not a reader. We've seen how Atlassian Forge keeps your data locked down tight. The question isn't, is this safe anymore? The real question is, what are you going to build?